Previously on Ballz.
Mike, welcome to Ballz Visual Radio. It's lovely to be able to chat to you. Mike Makaab, of course, with Pro Sport International, and a very special man. I'm glad we've had the opportunity to actually chat to you because, you've done some wonderful things on the football side. In fact, you were the first South African accredited football agent, and I'm sure you have loads of stories you could tell. We're not going to have much time to tell them all, but Mike, welcome, and good to have you with us.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's actually an absolute pleasure to be on the show, and this is something really unique. So it's pretty interesting and absolutely new for me. And I've done quite a lot of television work and radio work, but to sit and Skype on radio is unique, and I hope it works well.
Well, you're looking good. The picture's very good. Quality
I don't have to tell you, but pictures can defy what one looks like in the flesh. So I'm very happy to be on Skype.
I know. I thought that about Wayne Rooney. When I saw him, I went, "Oh my word! How can he be so good?"
Now, Mike, what exactly are you up to? We know that you're doing great work with Pro Sport International. What exactly is your role there?
I'm the CEO of the company, so I'm really responsible for all our sporting codes. We're predominantly very strong in the rugby and football side of the business. We also have quite a vibrant other sports section and division, which looks after the likes of Graham Smith, our South African cricket captain, Vanessa Haywood, who's a celebrity, an actor, and a couple of other very interesting characters, Kirsty Coventry, the Olympic swimmer. So we kept busy, kept on our toes, and it's an interesting but very demanding industry to be in.
Not forgetting the likes of Bafana coach Gordon Igesint as well, the likes of Pat Lambie, Yako Tauta, the Beast, Brian Abanikek, Daniel. Wow, it's a heck of a lot. I mean, where do you see the future of the game as far as the football agents are concerned? I mean, where do you see things going? Where do you see things going?
Amazingly, when I started many years back, and thank you for giving me a mention about being the first accredited agent in South Africa. I was one of the only people operating as an agent in football here. Today, there are a whole host of agents. Some licensed, some not licensed. Those that are attorneys don't have to be licensed, but there's a lot that call themselves business managers. Some doing a great job and others not, So it's an industry now that has become, let's say, jam-packed with a lot of participants. So you've got to work really hard for your market share and just keep doing what you do best, and that's giving the best possible service to your clients.
You mentioned you do get the odd person who's trying to muscle in there, but you guys are a very professional bunch as well. But I'm sure that at the end of the day, those guys realize, it's quite a small world out there, isn't it? I mean, they know who to sign up with, and they know where a good future lies. I mean, a number of those youngsters that you spoke about really providing what could be termed as, the backbone for the box side in years to come amongst the rugby players, for example.
Yeah, we're very excited about that. I think that our rugby division has done extremely well over the years. Started way back in 1995 under a different name, but that's when, if you remember, South Africa won the World Cup, and there was a little bit of a discussion about what the players would earn when, or if and when they won the World Cup. Francois Pienaar was captain, and that was really the advent of, I believe, professional rugby in South Africa. It was a starting point, and we were very fortunate to be at the core right at the beginning, and thankfully we're blessed to still be here today.
Look, football's your baby, really, and what do you make of Gordon taking over the reins at Bafana? We certainly seem to have seen a resurgence amongst the boys now, looking ahead to the games against Poland and Kenya respectively. We have a new captain now that Stephen Pienaar has retired, but nice to see him bringing in some new names, and obviously a lot of people very excited at this stage with the news that he's going to be bringing in this youngster who's a Slovakian-based youngster by the name of Ricardo Nunes.
Yeah, a lot of people are behind Gordon. He has tremendous public support, and I've worked with Gordon for many years, seen him win 4 championships with 4 different clubs, and finish very close on another 2 occasions with Ajax Cape Town and Morocco Swallows. He's a very talented coach. I think what people need to realize is that when you manage a national team, it's in my opinion more about getting the man management side of the job down to a fine line. And then also you obviously have to be absolutely aware of who's available to play for you, what sort of a system you want to play, who will fit into that system. So your tactical approach to the game is very important. And I think that Gordon is the sort of person that has enough experience and enough let's say, he's done his time in South African football to understand what he wants. He's a single-minded person, and I think if given the correct chance, he could restore South Africa back to its glory days when we were under Clive Barker, 96, 97.
Were you surprised to hear that Stephen Pienaar has retired from international football, and is someone like that a candidate for your particular organisation, Pro Sport International?
He's looked after by another agent, Rob Muller. I'm very, very...
do you head out those guys? Do you sometimes, in situations like this, do you then try to pursue something where you might like to develop and start a relationship, or is that person normally persona non grata if they would say?
No, it's normally something we wouldn't do at Pro Sport unless we were approached by the player who suggested that he was no longer represented by his agent, or no longer wanted to be represented by his agent. We don't like to tread on toes. It's a tough enough industry then to create enemies within. But I'm extremely surprised because Stephen has shown enormous form for Everton this year. I thought he did the right thing by going back to Everton under David Moyes. He's always done well, and I think he's going to be a big loss to our country. Having said that, nobody's bigger than the game, and as much as I'd like Stephen to reconsider and come back to the national team, I think that one's got to get on with the job without him. So that's where we stand at the moment as a nation.
Bongani Khumalo taking the reins there as a new Bafana Bafana captain. What sort of leadership do you expect from him? How is he? I
don't represent him, but I know him well. He's a very astute person, well spoken. He's almost like there's a quiet presence about him. He does his talking on the field. He's now with PAOK in Greece. We have an office in Greece, so I'm very familiar with Greek football. That's where Nassif Morris started his career at Aris, and then he went on to play for Panathinaikos and then went off to Spain. But Bongani's playing for PAOK, which is one of the two big teams in Thessaloniki. It's Aris and PAOK, and they recently had a derby where I think 3 players were sent off. I've been in the stadium when those two teams clashed in a cup final. Nassif Morris was playing for Aris, and believe it or not, they started burning the stadium before the game even started. So the Greeks are incredibly temperamental, and he's done very, very well for PAOK, playing regularly. His team is second in the league, so I think it's an astute choice of captain by Gordon Negusson.
Mike Makaab, Pro Sport International, thanks for joining us on Ballz for the first time. I'm sure we'll chat to you regularly in the future.
It's an absolute pleasure, and thanks for giving me the opportunity.
Thanks so much, Mike.
Thank you, Mike. Bye-bye.
2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Mondays to Fridays live on Ballz.co.za. Ballz.co.za.